The emergency session of the United Nations Security Council resumed in a somber mood. All eyes turned to Jonah as he stood to present the latest intelligence, collected from deep within Vraxian space. Esteemed delegates, the signs confirm our worst fears, Jonah began. The Vrax Empire has launched an unprecedented military buildup across their territories in preparations for invasion. Several clandestine drone missions through their regions revealed a surge in starship construction at major shipyards. Assembly lines now operate around the clock to complete vessels at an exponential rate. Gasps echoed through the chamber. The Chinese premier shook his head in dismay. Our analyses show such an armada could overwhelm any resistance we might mount, given their numerical superiority. We must take preemptive action to disrupt their war machine before it reaches full capacity. However, other voices urged a more cautious approach. The Indian defense minister rose from her seat. Direct confrontation would only galvanize nationalist fervor within the Vrax and possibly provoke an earlier attack. Instead, we must redouble our own defenses through intelligence and deterrence. As the heated debate continued, intelligence agencies received new directives from world leaders operating behind the scenes. Deep space probes were prepared for covert deployment across the outer solar system, equipped with specialized sensors and Vrax communications decoders. Their goal was to silently monitor areas beyond the asteroid belt for any signs of enemy incursions. On Earth, ground was broken for a new orbital defense grid, high above the stratosphere. Plasma lance batteries and laser defense towers began rising from the Earth, joining radar arrays stretched for thousands of miles. Underground bunkers stockpiled enough reserves to withstand a prolonged siege if Vrax forces bypassed exterior barriers. At lunar headquarters, General Ito oversaw final checks on upgraded sensors and weapons emplacements across the moon's surface. New shield generators, hummed with power, ready to envelop key installations at a moment's notice. Tracking satellites kept round-the-clock watch from lunar orbit, scanning the outer dark for anomalies. Within isolated research labs, teams worked feverishly on classified countermeasure projects. Engineers tested early prototypes of infiltration drones, modeled after Vraxian scout craft, but equipped with more advanced cloaking and intelligence gear. In sanitized testing ranges, plasma lances scorched rugged terrain, while technicians analyzed discharge signatures and feedback mechanisms. 2 months slipped by amid these preparations. Then, without warning, sensors detected an energy spike near Jupiter's orbit. Tracking satellites repositioned to get a clearer reading as analysts probed the unknown contact. Before long, imaging revealed not one but several small objects decelerating from near light speed. Gray vessels dropped from slip space. As they entered the inner system, their drive signatures unmistakable. Vraxian scouting force had come. They're probing our outer defenses, realized Colonel Singh after conferring with Ito via HoloLink. Send the infiltration drones to shadow their movements. Let's see what these scouts are really up to so close to home. 12 stealth drones launched from the moon, their drives and profiles mimicking the Vraxian ships. Under cloak, they trailed the enemy group as it conducted scans of the gas giants and their moons. To the Vrax scouts, the drones were simply another portion of their own group, going about their mission. For 2 tense weeks, the drones tailed the scouts without detection. The aliens mapped strategic regions and mined asteroid fields, no doubt assessing resource caches. More troubling were their surveys of launchpads on Ganymede and Callisto. They're gathering tactical intelligence on our facilities, warned Singh. If war breaks out, those outposts will be priority targets. We must accelerate and boost their defense before invasion fleet arrives. Back at headquarters, drone footage revealed one Vraxian separating from the main group. Its new course took it on a slingshot trajectory, directly towards Earth. Facial scans identified the lone crew member, a veteran intelligence operative, wanted for prior war crimes in frontier space. He's spying independently, Under cover of the scout mission, surmised Ito grimly. We can't risk him discovering any gaps in our defenses. Launch an interceptor drone to shadow him at a distance, but be ready to take him out if necessary. As the Vraxian scouting force made their sweep through the outer solar system, covert preparations intensified across Earth and its colonies. General Ito oversaw the final checks on the deep space surveillance network before its deployment. Masked their signatures and dispersed the probes on random trajectories. Ito ordered the launch crew. Ensure optimal coverage of all strategic regions while avoiding detection. One by one, compact sensor probes detached from Moonbase and accelerated into the dark. Their drives emitted randomized pulse emissions to mimic the signatures of natural space debris. Within days, over 100 probes had fanned out, unseen across the Kuiper Belt and deeper. On Earth, swarms of construction drones plugged away at the sprawling orbital defense grid rising in the upper atmosphere. Plasma Lance satellites locked into position above, thunderstorms raging in the clouds below. Down on the surface, laser cannon arrays jutted from foothills overlooking major cities and infrastructure hubs. Underneath NORAD headquarters, the prototype particle beam project neared completion after months of rushed development. We're achieving stable confinement and focusing of the particle flows, reported lead scientist Dr. Singh over a video feed. Another few weeks of testing should yield promising results for deterring capital ships. At the Selene Hyperloop terminal, General Lau oversaw final evacuations as the moon's hidden shelters filled to capacity. Underground bunkers stretched for miles, stocked with hydroponic farms, recycling processors, and materiel to shelter whole cities if the surface became uninhabitable. Once the shelters seal, we estimate survivors could hold out a decade if need be, Lau noted grimly. 2 months after deploying, the surveillance network began relaying scrambled data. Deep in Pluto's swirling atmosphere, one probe's enhanced sensors detected fluctuations in the planetoid's energetic particles. Subspace scans revealed the culprit, a massive object dropping out of hyperspace and beginning to decelerate. Hours dragged by as it braked, still too far out to get detailed readings. Then General Ito's direct line chimed. "Sir, we've identified that contact. It's a Vrax battle carrier, the Juggernaut class." Gasps rang through Moonbase's ops center. Over a kilometer long, those juggernauts were apex predators that roamed the Empire's frontier, with full carrier battle groups in tow. Scans revealed it had entered the system, flanked by at least 30 heavy cruisers and frigates. "They're not just probing anymore," muttered Commander, as shots of the Armada appeared on holo screens. "That Juggernaut's escorts pack enough firepower to smash any fleet, but not enough to threaten Earth. They must be launching a major operation." Emergency sessions flashed to life across every government on Earth. "We're out of time," declared President Sheridan, after seeing the data. "That Juggernaut wasn't sent alone on a scouting run. My friends, the invasion has begun." Despite the alarms, some defiance remained. The Joint Chiefs hashed out battle plans well into the night. "Our new grid should blunt their opening blows," asserted General Mackenzie. "And the particle cannons may give that Juggernaut pause if we link fire from orbit." At Moonbase, preparations switched to a war footing. Starfighter squadrons loaded plasma lances, and crews boarded converted transports. Marines ran drills in battlesuits, prepping to help defend key areas. And in a top-secret lab, Project Chimera neared its final test, as desperation spurred risky gambits. For even with all assets committed, most knew the grim statistics. One Juggernaut could handily defeat 2 conventional fleets, according to intelligence. With its escorts, it comprised the heaviest spearhead imaginable to break through the solar system's outer defenses. The Juggernaut dominated every wargame simulation once engaged. All that remained was to turn those simulations into reality and pray humanity's courage, cunning, and possible alien allies could tip the scales against calamity. Yet no one has answered Earth's call, to raise against Vrak's empire yet. As the Vrak's probing fleet accelerated toward the inner planet of Sol system, two warring civilizations hurtled towards a fateful collision that would shake the stars. As news of the looming Vraxian fleet spread across Earth's government networks, efforts turned toward reaching out to other alien civilizations. Intelligence advised their combined strength could prove pivotal if a united front is formed against the militant Vraks. Within Moonbase's subterranean command center, General Ito oversaw hushed communication through encrypted tachyon beams. Dispatch a message to the Betelgeuse. Their borders lie close to Vrak space. Warn of the invasion fleet and extend an offer of alliance if they face similar imperial aggression. Word also went out to the colonies on Titan and in the outer Orion cloud. Both had nurtured fragile trade with scattered avians and methane-based species. Now came pleased to share any insights on neighboring Vrak's behavior and rally neighbors to a common defense. It gambled opening dialogue could tip the coming clash, if allies materialized in sufficient numbers. In secret lunar factories, drills ran double and triple time to prep a squadron of specialized infiltration and kamikaze drones. Artificers grafted a medley of foreign alloys and circuits into their fuselages, shrouding signatures to mimic the profiles of numerous Vraxian craft. Once deployed, the hope was they could spread across the system undetected, maintaining continuous surveillance as conflict loomed. On a distant moon orbiting Ursa Minor, Betelgeuse sentries detected the approaching message near instantaneously. Suspicions arose upon deciphering Earth's urgent message, describing movements of the Vrak ships. Dark memories lingered of past atrocities along their frontier before a ceasefire took hold. An emergency conclave brought tribal ministers together to debate response. An offer of coordination from these Terrans could swing the tide if their fleets prove as formidable as tales claim, spoke Elder Malactor. Yet, marching openly with them risks making our every world a target for the Vrak's attack. So much rides on how we answer this call. Wisdom and care are needed not more than ever. After restless debate stretching late into endless nights, a contingent set course for the inner Earth system under cloak. Their S-class scouts ships obsolete compared to Vrak's warships, but speed and stealth made them dangerous opponents. With luck, they could parley directly with Terran leaders. Without detection and gauge humanity's mettle against the true might of the Vraks. Days passed anxiously within moonbases as the external sensors lit up, detecting minuscule energy tracks matching no known configuration. Tracking revealed twin objects streaking in from beyond Saturn, slowing to avoid detection on approach. When hailing frequencies went unanswered, a prototype reconnaissance drone launched. Its metamaterial shell rippled to impersonate one of the unknown contacts closing fast. Within moments, it matched velocity with the lead ship, transmitting a precise series of communication tonal pulses. The response came as a relief to all observing, a repeating harmonic greeting in Belgar language. Communications were opened, and humanity's first possible allies against the brewing storm had arrived. Both sides now raced to exchange all available intel before facing incoming storm. As one unified front, against the fury of a pan-galactic empire.